Welcome to the debate. Imagine walking through a dense, overgrown forest.
Sounds exhausting.
Right. Historically, navigating a space like that required immense effort. You're hacking through the brush, constantly checking a compass, basically burning physical and mental energy just to figure out where to place your next step.
Yeah, true.
But now, imagine an invisible cartographer is walking one step ahead of you, and instantly they are laying down a perfectly paved road exactly where your foot is about to fall. That is what we're looking at today. We are examining the unprecedented scale of global data collection by artificial intelligence.
Right. From the explicit digital choices we make to the implicit behavioral exhaust we leave behind. And it all points to a fundamental question about human agency.
Exactly.
Because the question is, does AI's intricate mapping of our habits and, our preferences and attention spans, does that represent the ultimate tool for human empowerment? Or does it fundamentally erode human autonomy by engineering our choices for us?
And this entire discussion emerges from a deep dive into our source material regarding global AI tracking mechanisms, behavioral economics, and algorithmic recommendation systems. I approach this from the enthusiast perspective. I view this AI architecture as an empowering mirror.
An empowering mirror? Okay.
Yeah. By optimizing our daily routines, it frees up our cognitive load so we can focus on what actually matters.
Well, and I come at this from the other side. Because when you look at the architecture of these systems, from the megacities of Asia to the vast plains of South America, that paved road you're talking about rarely leads where the individual actually wants to go.
Oh, come on.
No, really. I see this AI omniscience as an invisible hand. It subtly strips away our autonomy by exploiting cognitive vulnerabilities, usually for profit and, control.
Let's start right there with this idea of the paved road. To me, the sheer scale of planetary data collection is creating a frictionless, highly personalized world that dramatically enhances human capability.
Frictionless for who though?
For the user. We are talking about the processing of exabytes of data every single day. And the way it does this is through technologies like collaborative filtering and natural language processing.
Okay, let's unpack that term for a second, because collaborative filtering sounds, very cooperative and friendly. But the mechanics are a bit different.
Well, at its core, collaborative filtering is just the AI finding lookalikes. It looks at millions of users and says, if people who have your exact routine and preferences found this specific tool useful, you probably will too.
Right.
It's how the AI understands context. Our material highlights incredible global examples of this. Like in the Argentine pampas in rural Kenya, agricultural AI is predicting weather-based crop yields and advising farmers on crop rotations.
Sure, the agricultural applications are impressive.
And in Seoul, algorithms are optimizing public transport schedules in real time to reward punctuality and alter commuter behaviors citywide. That reduces congestion. AI doesn't restrict choice in these scenarios. It eliminates mundane friction. It takes countless micro-decisions off our plate.
I see the appeal of that efficiency, obviously, but we have to look under the hood at how that responsiveness is actually achieved. When a user shops online in São Paulo, for example, the AI doesn't just passively show popular items. It's using a technique called matrix factorization.
Right, which is just the mathematical engine behind the recommendations.
Exactly. And for those who aren't steeped in the math, matrix factorization takes billions of user interactions, clicks, hovers, purchases, and it decomposes them into hidden variables or latent factors. The AI doesn't inherently know what a cozy evening is, but it mathematically groups together the people buying fuzzy socks, hot chocolate, and streaming romantic comedies.
Because they correlate?
Yes, but it predicts exactly what hidden cluster of desires you are susceptible to in that exact fraction of a second. It creates a feedback loop. Your clicks reinforce the model, making suggestions eerily accurate. So it isn't just serving a need, it is engineering the outcome.
But engineering an outcome that you ultimately want.
Not necessarily. It leverages psychological vulnerabilities. The AI knows that peers who bought running shoes also bought moisture-wicking socks, so it nudges you toward the full outfit. It capitalizes on herd mentality.
I think capitalizes is a bit harsh.
Well, the material notes how grocery apps in Beijing use algorithmic bestseller flags, not just to indicate stock, but specifically to trigger our cognitive bias for social proof. The algorithm knows we are wired to do what the tribe is doing. That isn't empowerment. That is behavioral engineering at a population level.
I hear what you're saying, but think about how that exact same mathematical grouping, that matrix factorization, is applied in a context like healthcare. The text outlines something called multimodal fusion.
Okay.
This is where the AI combines completely different types of data. Text from your searches, location data from your phone, maybe audio from a voice assistant.
Which honestly is an incredible amount of surveillance.
But look at the result. The AI is correlating search histories for symptoms like fatigue, fusing that with GPS data showing frequent pharmacy visits, and adding in shopping habits, like buying sugary energy drinks.
Right, drawing a comprehensive profile.
Exactly. And through this synthesis, the AI can flag a high probability of a condition like diabetes before a human doctor even catches it. To me, that is a triumph of collective intelligence. It goes back to my opening analogy.
The cartographer.
Yeah, or like in urban planning, there's this concept of a desire path. Sometimes architects won't pave the walkways in a new park right away. They wait to see where people naturally walk over the grass, and then they pave over the dirt trails the pedestrians created. That's what AI is doing. It merely paves the routes our natural preferences dictate. It facilitates our desires.
Okay, I love the desire path analogy, but I have to push back hard here because the AI landscape is not a public park. It is a highly commercialized toll road. And those desire paths you're talking about, they are absolutely rigged.
Rigged how?
Let's look at the dynamic pricing mechanisms detailed in our source material. You know when you go to book a ride share, you see a high price, you close the app and maybe open it 5 minutes later, hoping it went down?
Right, yeah, everyone does that.
Well, in Mexico City, ride-hailing services are using dynamic pricing that surges based explicitly on your individual past cancellation sensitivities.
Wait, really?
Yes, the algorithm has mapped your personal breaking point. It knows the exact dollar amount at which you will give up and walk or take the bus, and it pushes the price right to the absolute edge of your tolerance.
Huh.
Or consider multinational corporations tailoring prices dynamically. They charge more to a user in Switzerland based purely on inferred income derived from their digital exhaust, while offering different prices to users in the Philippines.
Well, but purchasing power varies by region. That's just basic economics.
But it's not just regional, it's hyper-individualized. That isn't paving a natural path based on your desires. That is extracting maximum capital by exploiting an asymmetrical information advantage.
I mean,
The AI knows your pain points, your budget, and your impatience. It leverages all of that hidden math to dictate the terms of your reality. You think you're making a free choice to pay $20 for a ride, but the AI engineered that exact scenario because it knew you were running late for a meeting and your battery was at 5%.
okay, I think you are focusing almost exclusively on the economic transaction, like the moment of purchase. I want to shift the focus to a broader and arguably more important resource allocation, which is our time.
All right.
Time is our most precious resource. When AI analyzes our habits, it is usually doing so to give us that time back.
I'm highly skeptical of how much time we're actually getting back.
Look at the examples in the text regarding virtual assistants. They are scheduling deep work during peak focus hours for distributed teams spanning the Asia Pacific. They use time series forecasting, specifically things called ARIMA models.
For the listener, what is an ARIMA model doing in this context?
So ARIMA stands for Autoregressive Integrated Moving Average.
Catchy.
Very. But essentially, it's a statistical model that looks at your past behavior over time to predict your future schedule. It's looking at the rhythm of your days. So if a user in Paris consistently engages with the fitness app on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7 a.m., the AI preloads those specific routines, queues up the right playlist, and makes the habit entirely seamless.
Okay.
Let me challenge your idea of manipulation with this. If an AI uses biometric data, say your smartwatch notices a slumping step count during an office-heavy week in Dubai, and it urges a brisk walk based on benchmarks from active users in Sydney, isn't that expanding the user's capacity to live healthily? Aren't we effectively restoring autonomy over the user's own body by breaking them out of a sedentary default?
I see what you're saying, but I come at it from a completely different direction. We have to define what empowerment actually means, especially when we talk about time in the attention economy. You mentioned the wearable nudge to go for a walk, and that sounds great.
It is great.
But you are ignoring how the exact same underlying predictive architectures are deployed to assault our cognitive autonomy.
Assault is a really strong word.
I think it's the accurate word. Let's talk about how our attention is quantified using sequence modeling. Platforms use something called LSTMs, long short-term memory networks.
Right, which are a type of neural network.
Exactly. And what makes LSTMs unique is that they process massive sequences of data to encode temporal dependencies. They don't just care what you clicked, they care about the timing and the rhythm of your clicks. They learn how your patience degrades over time.
Right.
Armed with that knowledge, the AI forecasts the exact second you are likely to abandon a task or close an app.
And how do platforms use that specific forecast?
They use it to trap you. Our material shows streaming services throttling video quality precisely based on your individual attention thresholds. They time the delivery of narrative cliffhangers specifically to hook US audiences who the data shows are highly prone to binge watching late at night.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. In South Korea, gaming apps deploy variable reward schedules. They operate quite literally like a Skinner box. If the LSTM network predicts you are getting frustrated and are about to quit, the AI adjusts the game's difficulty down on the fly. You win, you get a hit of dopamine, and you stay engaged.
So it adapts to the user's skill level? That sounds like a good feature.
No, it adapts to the user's vulnerability. It is prolonging engagement to serve the platform, not the player. The systemic consequence of maximizing time on site through these models is staggering. The material notes that global average attention spans have shrunk from 12 seconds in the year 2000 to just 8 seconds today.
Wow, 8 seconds?
Yeah. You call it optimizing time, I call it the ruthless monetization of human focus. We are losing the ability to direct our own minds.
Okay, I hear you on the streaming cliffhangers, and I've certainly fallen victim to the 2 a.m. Netflix binge myself.
Haven't we all?
Right. The design of the attention economy and absolutely misaligned with user well-being when ad revenue is the sole metric. I'll concede that. But aren't we ignoring the physical world here? Let's step away from the screen for a minute. The utility of habit detection is fundamentally transforming our physical infrastructure. And it's doing so with privacy in mind, using tools like edge computing.
Edge computing being the idea that the data stays on the device?
Precisely. Instead of sending all your raw GPS data and personal habits to a centralized server, the computation happens on the edge of the network, meaning on your actual smartphone. Through a process called federated learning, your phone learns your habits, updates a tiny mathematical model, and only sends that anonymous lesson back to the cloud, not your personal data.
I mean, it's a nice privacy safeguard in theory, but it doesn't change the nature of the tracking.
But look at the societal benefits. We have smart cities in Singapore using localized sensors to dim streetlights on empty paths based on the highly predictable daily habits of pedestrians. It conserves massive amounts of energy while ensuring routes are perfectly lit just as someone approaches. We have energy grids in Europe predicting evening television peaks down to the minute to optimize power distribution. We have traffic AI smoothing commutes in Mexico City by communicating with habit-aware traffic signals. By modeling our lives, AI serves as an invisible infrastructure that sustains complex, growing global populations. Predictability isn't a cage, it's the foundation of a functional, sustainable, modern society.
The logistical efficiency of a smart grid is undeniable. I'm not arguing we should go back to manually flipping switches at the power plant.
Good.
But there is a profound dark side to mapping human lives with that level of extreme predictability. You're talking about using hidden Markov models to represent our states of being.
Let's break that down for a second. A hidden Markov model is?
It's a statistical model that predicts an unseen or hidden state based on observable events. So the AI looks at your observable data, how fast you're typing, what apps you're switching between, your location, and it predicts your hidden state, whether you're commuting, working, stressed, manic, or exhausted.
Right.
It links yesterday's late night to today's sluggish start using recurrent neural networks. And when you map human life that rigidly, you create algorithmic feedback loops that eradicate spontaneity. But more concerningly, it locks people into predetermined paths.
How so? Like practically?
Practically, because the system categorizes you, predicts you, and then limits your options based entirely on that automated classification. Look at the financial and political implications in the text. In Nairobi, credit scoring AI deployed by banks is pulling from unconventional digital signals, things like the rhythm of your utility payments or how often you top up your mobile data.
Right, alternative data.
Yes, but it denies loans to individuals based on a mathematically risky digital footprint, even if their real-world credit behavior is stellar.
But those models are constantly learning and adjusting.
They are learning how to put people in boxes. Or look at the election model's micro-targeting Indonesian youth. The AI infers unemployment signals from their digital exhaust and then feeds them highly specific, targeted political messaging designed to agitate those exact anxieties.
That is troubling, yes.
That takes away your autonomy as a voter. You aren't seeing the public square. You are seeing a customized funhouse mirror designed to manipulate your specific demographic. And the supposed consent we give to all this tracking, it's a complete illusion. Buried privacy policies and dark patterns make it nearly impossible to genuinely opt out. We are leaving individuals entirely vulnerable to manipulation under the guise of civic efficiency.
You know, I look at the Nairobi credit example or the misprofiling of routines, and I don't see algorithmic determinism. I see technological growing pains. Developers are actively pushing explainable AI and debiasing techniques to diversify training data.
I hope so.
But taking a step back to look at this holistically, I maintain that AI's granular understanding of humanity is a triumph. Yes, the data ingestion is vast. GPS pings, device accelerometers, sentiment analysis parsing over 100 languages simultaneously. But when this system is governed by transparency and edge computing privacy frameworks, it empowers us.
It optimizes us. I'm not sure it empowers us.
It democratizes education through adaptive tutors in underserved African villages that know exactly when a student is struggling. It optimizes global supply chains to drastically reduce food waste. It deeply personalizes the human experience. AI takes on the massive computational burden of navigating an infinitely complex modern world. By outsourcing the trivial, we free human cognition for what truly matters. It is an essential, empowering infrastructure.
I see the logistical marvel of it, I really do. But I just don't buy that it is merely a mirror reflecting our desires. A mirror doesn't reach out and guide your hand. A mirror doesn't change the reflection to make you buy something.
Fair point.
While the efficiencies in supply chains and smart grids are real, the cost we are paying is our cognitive sovereignty. We are submitting to an architecture that uses computer vision to track our pupil dilation, our dwell time, and our keystroke rhythms, all to feed utility functions designed to extract our capital and our attention.
So you really do see it as an extractive cage.
I do. Whether it is a vending machine in Japan adjusting its stock based on your app-linked purchases or an algorithm nudging voters with micro-targeted fears, the technology is inherently manipulative. Unless we actively disrupt these signals, we risk living in a highly optimized algorithmic cage. In this cage, our choices, our attention, and our habits are continuously engineered by unseen forces that frankly know our cognitive vulnerabilities much better than we do.
It's a sobering perspective. And, I think where we fundamentally converge today is on the absolute necessity of awareness. Both of our views highlight that users simply cannot afford to be passive participants in this ecosystem.
Exactly. The systems require auditing, and users must recognize that every single swipe, pause, and click trains the model.
We both agree that protective tools are critical, whether that's using VPNs, privacy-focused browsers, or championing the concept of data passports to standardize digital rights across borders.
Absolutely. Furthermore, strict global regulations are essential. Frameworks like the GDPR in Europe, the LGPD in Brazil, and the DPDP Act in India are the necessary guardrails to ensure that this profound technology remains subordinate to human intent.
Right, because awareness grants power. Without it, we just default to the algorithmic tide.
The tension between the incredible convenience of technological optimization and the fundamental preservation of individual autonomy clearly remains one of the defining challenges of our time. It leaves us to reflect deeply on our own digital interactions, and there are many more layers to uncover in the source material regarding exactly how these algorithms mathematically weigh our desires.
Definitely. We started today by imagining an invisible cartographer paving a road right beneath your feet. The question you have to ask yourself next time you pick up your phone is this: are you deciding where that road leads, or is the road deciding for you?